Good evening, VC, or anyone who might find themselves watching this channel. It's Friday evening here in Norway. It's in the middle of November, it's below zero, and it's the season for spending time indoors. And what better way to spend your Friday evening digging out a pile of records and listening to some good music. That's at least what I'm doing tonight. And I thought I should shoot another video. It's been a few weeks since my last, and I got something to show you. What's playing in the background is Ashra Temple's debut album from 1972. A wonderful space rock, cosmic rock from Germany, which I guess you know. This is an exact reproduction of the original OR release. Let me show you with the flaps and the original labels and everything. I think it's an unofficial re-release, but it sounds quite good. I have the original, but I tend to play the reissue. Now, what is this video about? Today I want to show you a very generous VCLT which I received the other day. It's a VCLT from Ron at the Hogs Ear Report. A few weeks back I sent him a VCLT, and now he has returned the favor or gesture, and it is a very, very generous VCLT. I think Ron has spotted my musical taste and hit the nail on the head, because I was blown away when I saw what he had sent me. First, I would like to show you this record by the band The Missing Links. This was an Australian garage proto-punk band, and they sounded very raw. Excellent album. This is their only album, LP. They released half a dozen singles and an EP. This is a Sunday's reissue, and a very nice one. Heavy vinyl and excellent sound. So I checked the online, checked Discogs, and the originals are way too expensive for me, and I guess I'll never find one here in Norway. But this Sunday's reissue will do. Excellent choice, Ron. Thank you so much. What's interesting about this band is that between they had a short lifespan from between 1964 to 66, I think I read, and in that time they had changed their lineup totally. So the Mark II version, which appears on this album, there were none of the original members. Quite strange, but there you go. Along with this Sunday's reissue, this EP was released. This came along with Sunday's reissue, and it's their 4-track EP called Unchained. I haven't had the chance to listen to this yet, but it contains I'll Go Crazy, Don't Give Me No Friction, One More Time, and Wooly Bully. And if it sounds half as good as the album, I guess it will be great. Show you the labels. Nice Sunday's labels there. I don't know if they're supposed to look like the originals, but they look retro. So excellent there, Ron. Thank you so much. Another 45 sent me was by the Chocolate Watch Band, and I've heard about them, but I never heard anything of them. And this is a nice Sunday's reissue as well. Record Store Day release, I think, and it sounds excellent. On the A side, it's In the Midnight Hour, a really raw and punchy, heavy sounding version of In the Midnight Hour. And the B-side, Psychedelic Trip. Excellent, excellent single. I have to get more from this band, Chocolate Watch Band. I forgot to mention, I thought last track on this Missing Links album was a bit psychedelic. I don't know how to pronounce it, but you can read it yourself. The last track with backwards drums and vocals, so a bit of proto psychedelia there as well. Well, the next album Ron sent me was by someone I've never heard about even. It's Bruce Palmer, and allegedly he was the bass player of the Buffalo Springfield. And this was his only solo album after he quit the Buffalo Springfield. It's called The Cycle Is Complete. This is a Karma reissue. I guess the originals are expensive or scarce, so I'm happy to have this one on Akama. And I really enjoyed this album. It's spacey, trippy, cosmic sounding. It's almost all instrumental, a little bit of vocals here and there. Very jammy, just far out, trippy, excellent. So that was a really, really great discovery. Thanks to Ron for that one. The next one he sent me was Joel Zephyr's Not Dead Yet. And this is another one I haven't had the chance to listen to yet, but I will do during the evening. It's unreleased 1978 studio sessions and live recordings. I of course have their debut album, and it's great. So I guess this will be great as well. Well, the next 3 LPs Ron sent me are just killers. The first one you all know. It's Jefferson Airplane's Surrealistic Pillow. Ron wrote to me that it's an original mono pressing. And I've had a late 70s stereo reissue which sounded poor. So I was glad to get this one, because the mono mix sounds superior, far superior to the stereo, according to my ears anyway. So really, really happy to have that one. This is just a classic. No more words needed. Another killer album Ron sent me was this. Love Da Capo, and this is also an original mono pressing. A Monarch pressing, I guess he wrote. I'm not too familiar with the different pressing plants in the United States, but I have to read about that. But as Ron says, the Monarch pressings tend to sound good, and this one really does. It sounds great, and this is an excellent album. I only had this on a reissue from, I think it was Sundays or something like that. So just an excellent addition to my collection. Thank you. The last record Ron sent me was this, the Zodiac Cosmic Sounds, and I have seen Ron show this on his channel before, and I've heard some tracks online, and this is just marvelous. Marvelous psychedelia. I think it was a Jack Holtzman project or something. It's not actually a band, but the session musicians and what does it say here? Electronic instruments, Paul Beaver. And the other musicians are uncredited, but excellent, excellent trippy psychedelic record. An original Electra pressing as well. I don't know whether it's a Monarch pressing or another pressing plant. I have to check that out. So I have enjoyed all these records except for the 45 with the Chocolate Watch Band and Josephus. I haven't had the chance to listen to yet, but wow, what a VCLT! Right on the mark. Excellent hours of listening pleasure. So thanks very much, Ron. I appreciate it very much. Now, some recent pickups over the last weeks. I'm in the mood these days for some German space rock, progressive rock, Krautrock, call it what you want. And I was lucky enough to find this, Novalis, I don't know how to pronunciate it, but their first album, Banished Bridge. And this is an original release on Brain Metronome Records. Nothing too experimental about it, but prog psychedelia from the early 70s. A very solid and nice album, very enjoyable to listen to. So even though it's nothing revolutionary about it, it's a solid album, and I really recommend you get that one. And it's quite cheap to find out in the wild. The next album I found on a record fair, and it's a reissue of Ashra Temple's second album, Schwingungen. And this is an excellent piece of far out German cosmic space rock. Ashra Temple's first 4 albums are just marvelous, and if you haven't heard Ashra Temple, you have to do so. I think you can find all their albums online. This is an exact repro of the original issue on Ohr Records. I think this also is an unofficial release, but it's very well done and it sounds great. But I'm waiting for official re-releases of Ashra Temple's records. I really wish they could do legit reissues of those. Another German original I found on the same record fair was Hairy Chapter and their album Eyes, their first album from 1970, and this is just raw hard rock. Excellent. A little bit of psych elements here and there, but for the most part just raw hard rock. And it's on the Op International label, and they're not easy to find, but this was a mint copy. I couldn't pass it up. I had to pay a little bit for it though, but it was worth it. So Hairy Chapter, Eyes, I really recommend you get that album. Their next also, but that's 10 times more expensive than this. So, the next record I picked up the other day is an English psychedelic masterpiece from The Open Mind, and mind you, this is a reissue. The original is going for crazy money. This is an Acme reissue from the early 2000s, I think. But this is excellent British garage psychedelia, I would describe it as. They sound dirty and psychedelic, and just excellent album, The Open Mind. Well, another one I picked up is Record Store Day release, The Stooges. And this is Have Some Fun live at Unganos. And the sticker here says it's the 1970 recording from the release party for Funhouse. So I couldn't pass that up. It has to be great. I haven't heard it yet, but I guess I will this evening. It's a limited edition, 7,500 copies on black and white splatter vinyl with a, as it says here, with a big ass poster. Includes a big ass poster. Great. Can't go wrong with the Stooges, can you? Now, 2 more albums. I was lucky to find this one. This is very unusual to find in Norway. The Children Rebirth. And I've seen this in the VC before. I don't exactly remember who showed it, but this is an Atco reissue from 1968 or something, I guess. It was originally released on Cinema Records, but they are hard to find here. Even the Atco edition is hard to find here in Norway, so I'm very pleased to find that one. And it was cheap as well. And this copy is in excellent condition. My favorite track from this album must be, I don't know the names yet, but well, it's a great album. Eerie, trippy, some acoustic elements, flutes, and at the same time heavy and raw and psychedelic, of course. The last album I picked up the other day is my second copy of The Flame, South African band who first moved to the United Kingdom and then relocated to the US and recorded this album. I think this is their 5th or 6th album. And this is produced by Carl Wilson of the Beach Boys, and Blondie Chapman, the guitar player, is here, who later joined the Ruttles. And this is an excellent album. This is the UK version on Stateside. I also have the US version on Brother Records, but unfortunately I do not have the poster yet. But this is just an awesome album all the way through. It sounds very late era Beatles, Abbey Road Beatles era, with songs like See the Light, Don't Worry Bill, Get Your Mind Made Up. All the songs here are just phenomenal. So if you haven't heard The Flame, I really recommend you get yourself a copy. Well, that's all I had to show today. Now I will keep on spinning records throughout the evening. I hope you enjoy your evening and enjoyed watching my record vinyl update. So best wishes from Norway, over and out.